The end of 2024 is approaching, and with it comes a sense of anticipation and unease that pervades those who closely follow the prophecies of Medjugorje. The supernatural events of this small village in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which began in 1981, continue to shake the consciences of people around the world. But what is keeping everyone on edge today is an announcement that seems increasingly imminent. The final prophecy that could be fulfilled by the end of this year. What will happen? What signs should we expect? And most importantly, how should we prepare? This is not just a simple prediction, but a strong and clear call, urging us to reflect on the state of our lives, our families, and our faith. The words of the Madonna spoken through the visionaries of Medjugorje have been clear. The time for decision is now. We can no longer delay. We can no longer ignore the signs that surround us. In her latest apparition, the Madonna spoke with a tone of love but also of urgency. She said, "My children, pray, pray without ceasing. The times you are living are times of great trial, but also of grace. Do not fear what is coming, for those who are firm in faith will be protected. My Immaculate Heart will triumph, but before that day the world will be purified. Pray for those who do not believe. Pray for those who are far from God. Your prayer is the most powerful weapon against the advancing evil." These words are not just a warning, but a call to real change. The Madonna reiterated that the world is at a crossroads, and the path of prayer and conversion is the only way to find salvation and peace. The signs of the times are clear: wars, divisions, natural disasters, and a general distancing from God. However, the Madonna reassures us that nothing is lost for those who trust in her protection. The latest Marian message in Medjugorje contains words that should not be ignored, for they carry prophetic warnings that invite deep reflection. The Madonna once again urges the faithful to be vigilant and ready to face a future that may be marked by dramatic events. Among the themes that emerge strongly, there are the spiritual and moral challenges humanity is facing, and the grave consequences that may follow if we do not change direction. The message calls for the urgent need to pray with a sincere heart, to rediscover the value of faith and hope, and to resist the temptation of spiritual superficiality. The Madonna speaks of an increasing darkness that threatens the world, a darkness that refers not only to external conflicts, but also to an inner crisis that affects the consciences of many. The message warns that humanity is in danger because of its inattention to divine values and spiritual life. What should be concerning is the imperative to act, to not remain passive in the face of unfolding events. The Madonna asks for a concrete response, which is not limited to prayer, but is translated into a life of authentic faith and commitment to the good of others. The message is an invitation not to underestimate the urgency of preparing, both spiritually and practically, for a future that may hold great challenges for all of us. This is not about panic, but about a call to take these signs seriously, so we are not caught unprepared when the trial comes. The promise of the triumph of her Immaculate Heart is not far off, but it requires our sincere response. This time of purification, if lived with faith and hope, will become a bridge to a renewed world where peace and the love of God will reign supreme. Every single prayer, every act of charity, every personal conversion will contribute to this divine plan. The Madonna urges us to act now, for the time available is shortening. Those who listen to this message and put it into practice will have nothing to fear. Heavenly protection is promised to those who choose the way of faith. But those who remain indifferent or skeptical may find themselves unprepared for the future events. It is no longer time for doubts or hesitation. It is time to act, to pray, to offer our lives to God with all our hearts. Now more than ever, each one of us is called to respond to the voice of the Madonna. Salvation is a gift, but it requires effort and perseverance. Prepare, stay awake, and trust. The triumph of the Immaculate Heart is near. What awaits us is not just a trial, but also the dawn of a new beginning for all humanity. The message of the Virgin is clear: prayer, conversion, and trust. Here's what we must do concretely. Intensify prayer. Prayer is the most powerful weapon against evil. The Madonna invites us to daily rosary, the prayer that can stop wars and change the fate of souls. Let's take this invitation seriously, confession and return to God. Without God, there is no future. The Madonna asks us to return to frequent confession to purify our hearts and restore a relationship with the Father. Confession is the door to inner peace. Fasting, especially on bread and water, twice a week, Wednesday and Friday, is both a spiritual and physical remedy. Fasting breaks the chains of sin, strengthens the spirit, and gives grace. Help others. In times of difficulty, solidarity will be key. Let's help those in need, both materially and spiritually, because in mutual love, we recognize the presence of God. Consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The Madonna promised protection to those who consecrate their lives to her Immaculate Heart. This act of surrender is a bastion of peace and salvation. The Virgin, in her apparitions, has also suggested concrete remedies to face the imminent difficulties. Here are some spiritual and material tools to prepare ourselves. Carry blessed objects such as crosses, miraculous medals, and scapulars for spiritual protection. Use blessed water and salt to bless homes, families, and environments as a sign of purification and protection from evil. Keep blessed candles at home, especially in anticipation of moments of spiritual or physical darkness. Without succumbing to fear, it is wise to have minimal material preparation. Stock up on food, water, and essentials, especially in a crisis period. Recite daily prayers such as the Rosary, Psalm 91, and the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. Despite the warnings, the latest message from the Madonna should not be viewed with despair, but with hope. She assures us of her constant presence. Do not be afraid, I am with you. These words are our anchor of salvation. If we trust in God, if we return to prayer and conversion, nothing can take away our peace of heart. Trials will come, but those who remain faithful will see the triumph of good. The end of 2024 will not mark the end, but a new beginning for a purified world ready to receive the light of divine grace. The time to act is now. Let's listen to the Heavenly Mother and prepare with faith, courage, and love, as she herself promised, in the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The message of the Madonna is a call of love, not fear. Every word is a hand stretched out to humanity, an invitation to peace that comes from sincere conversion. Let's not waste any more time. The Mother awaits us, ready to accompany us in the most important spiritual battle of our days. This is our opportunity to say yes with courage and trust. Dear friends, the Madonna urgently invites us to prayer for our salvation, reminding us that only through a life of sincere faith and constant union with God can we face the difficulties ahead. In these times when spirituality is being severely tested, it is essential to strengthen our bond with heaven. Prayer becomes our shield, our safe refuge, protecting us from the darkness that threatens our path. We can no longer delay. It is time to respond fervently to the divine call. If this message has resonated in your heart, I invite you to take a further step. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the upcoming reflections, in-depth analyses, and messages that will guide us in our spiritual growth. Together, we can remain vigilant and ready to live according to God's will, facing every challenge with hope and faith. By subscribing, you will have access to exclusive content and the opportunity to be part of a community that shares the same values and commitment to salvation. Let's never be discouraged, but live with courage, because prayer is our strength. Subscribe now and stay united in faith.